Hi guys, this is George back here with another video and welcome to another top 10 countdown where today I'm going to be counting down my top 10 biggest bucket list coasters. I've looked at the coasters that are defunct that I got to ride. I've looked at the coasters that are defunct that I didn't get to ride. UK coasters and also coasters opening in 2025. Let's move on to my biggest bucket list coasters. So rather than this one being a list of defunct coasters, this is going to be a list of operating coasters of all the roller coasters that are currently operating in the world. These are the 10 that I want to ride the most. So let's get straight in with number 10. Coming in at number 10, we have Fury 325 at Carowinds, a B&M Giga coaster that opened in 2015. And this coaster looks absolutely incredible. I've heard rave reviews about it. Everyone who has ridden it absolutely loves it, it seems. It's been ranked as one of the world's best roller coasters. I believe it has won the award for the best steel coaster in operation the last few years, according to the Golden Ticket Awards. It's a big deal of a coaster, 325 foot tall. It's a B&M Giga coaster and it is currently the tallest roller coaster to feature a lift hill in the world. So this is a big deal. It's known as one of the best coasters in the States. To be honest, I've always wanted to ride this roller coaster. It looks incredible. However, I feel like I'm not going to enjoy it as much as a lot of other people do. I don't know, just looking at the layout of it, as much as it looks like it's got some great elements and it has some amazing speed going through there, it doesn't look like it would be one of the best roller coasters ever. I feel like I'd go on it and think, yeah, that's an absolutely incredible ride, but it's not the best steel roller coaster out there. So it will be interesting to see when I do get the chance to ride it. I don't know when that's going to be, but hopefully it'll happen at some point. I'd love to go and ride this roller coaster and see what it's like. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe it will instantly become a #1 coaster. However, no matter what, even if this is a terrible ride, it's still an absolutely massive bucket list roller coaster for me that I'd love to be able to experience. Coming in at number 9, we have Tartis at Parc Astrix in France. This is an Intamin multi-launch coaster that opened in 2023, and this thing looks absolutely incredible. It looks like it's got some amazing elements on there. It's a long ride, and it's got a very kind of diverse layout as well. Lots of air time, hang time, inversions. It's fast. It's got a multi-pass launch. So you start off with a launch out the station into an inversion. You then go through a couple of outer bank turns and into a multi-pass launch. So you launch forwards, part way up the top hat, launch backwards into a massive spike, then launch forwards again, over the top hat into more inversions and airtime. It's a long ride. It looks absolutely incredible. I love Intamin. I love what they've been doing with their multi-launch coasters recently, of course. Velocicoaster and Batman Gotham City Escape, they're both absolutely incredible rides. And if Tartis is anything like those, then this is going to be an absolutely spectacular ride. Hopefully, I'll ride it at some point in 2025. I'd definitely like to. I'd definitely plan on getting out there to go and ride it this year. However, I'll just have to see what happens, because this thing looks absolutely incredible. Coming in at number 8, we have Time Traveller at Silver Dollar City, the original Mack Rides Extreme Spinning Coaster that opened in 2018. So of course there are currently 2 extreme spinners in operation. The other is Ride to Happiness at Plopsaland, which I have been on. I went on it a few years ago, and it was an absolutely incredible ride. I can't wait to get back on it at some point. But Time Traveller, of course, I haven't been on yet. It was the original one. Apparently Ride to Happiness is better. Everyone who's ridden both of them does say that Ride to Happiness is better. However, Time Traveller still looks like an absolutely incredible ride. It looks like it's got an amazing layout. 2 launches on there, 3 inversions. And what I really like the look of with this coaster is the drop straight out of the station. You literally exit the station, start spinning, and then you drop down a 90-degree drop straight out of the station into a dive loop that looks absolutely amazing. I'd love to go and experience this ride. It's a terrain coaster as well. It looks like it has a decent length to it. Not the longest of rides, however, not the shortest either. But it looks like an absolutely amazing ride, and I'd love to go and ride it at some point. Coming in at number 7, we have Conda at Wallaby Belgium in Belgium, as you probably guessed, an Intamin mega coaster that opened in 2021, and this coaster looks absolutely spectacular. So it's not the tallest roller coaster ever, however, It's a long ride, and it has got a lot of airtime on there as well. Loads of different airtime hills. It's also got a non-inverted cobra roll on there, which looks really interesting. So I'd love to know what that feels like. But of course, you go up the lift hill, down a twisted drop, into loads of airtime, twisted airtime hills, standard airtime hills. You get a mix of floater airtime and injector airtime from what I've heard. It sounds like it's an absolutely amazing ride. I've heard rave reviews about it. Everyone that goes on it seems to absolutely love it. And this has been a massive bucket list coaster for me ever since it was first announced. I remember when this was first announced, I was looking at it like, oh my god, I've got to ride this when it opens. It still hasn't happened, but hopefully, maybe 2025 will be the year that it happens. I definitely plan on getting to Wallaby Belgium this year, but again, I'll just have to see what happens, because Conda looks absolutely spectacular, and I can't wait to ride it at some point. Coming in at number 6, we have DC Rivals Hypercoaster at Warner Brothers World in Australia. This is a Mack Hypercoaster that opened in 2017, and this looks absolutely amazing. It's a long ride, it's got loads of different elements on there, lots of airtime, a non-inverted loop on there as well that looks absolutely amazing. Not loads of people have gone out to ride it. Of course, it's in Australia. It's not the easiest roller coaster to get to, but the people that have ridden it seem to absolutely love it. It looks amazing. I have ridden 2 other Mack Hypercoasters. Of course, I've done Hyperia at Thorpe Park, and I've also done Hypercoaster at Land of Legends in Turkey. Both of them are absolutely incredible rides, and this is apparently an amazing ride as well. And if it's going to be anything like the 2 that I have been on, it would be an absolutely incredible ride. I'd love to go and ride it at some point. Of course, it's all the way in Australia. However, this is a big draw. This is pretty much the main reason I want to go to Australia. There are loads of different rides there that I'd love to ride, but this is the main standout one that I really want to ride. It's been a big bucket list coaster for a very long time. Ever since I rode Hyperia and Hypercoaster, it's become an even bigger bucket list coaster because I've realised the potential of these Mack Rides Hypercoasters, and this is apparently one of the best ones as well, if not the best one, so I'd love to go and ride this at some point. Coming in at number 5, we have Taran at Phantasialand in Germany, an Intamin multi-launch coaster that opened in 2016. This coaster does not have any inversions. However, what it does have is a long, twisted layout with loads of different elements, lots of airtime on here as well, from what it looks like. Lots of different airtime hills, launches, overbanks. It looks like a pretty intense ride, and the theming of it looks absolutely spectacular as well. The theming really makes the look of this coaster. Of course, it's a massive bucket list coaster anyway. I've heard so much about this ride, but the theming, I feel like, is what gets a lot of people talking, because the theming makes the layout even more interesting than it already is. Interacting with all the rockworks and the buildings and all the near-miss elements, it looks absolutely spectacular. It's a very long ride as well. You're on there for a good while. It's like you go through the first launch and the first section. By the time you get to the second launch, that's a lot of coasters would be over by that point, but this one, you're only halfway through. You then launch into that second launch. It looks incredible, and the best thing about this is I'm going to be riding this week. I'm actually going to Phantasialand in the next few days, and I'm hoping Taran's going to be open. I assume it probably will be. It does operate, literally it operates in the snow. You've probably seen the viral video from last year of Taran literally going round in the snow with snow on the track, and then it just looked like there was a massive blizzard flying off from the back of the train as it went round the layout. You could hear the roar of the coaster with all the snow just flying around behind it. It looks incredible. I can't wait to ride it. I'll be there in the next few days. I'll be vlogging it. I can't wait to finally experience this roller coaster. Coming in at number 4, we have Wildcats Revenge at Hershey Park in Pennsylvania, an RMC hybrid coaster that's opened in 2023, and this thing looks absolutely amazing. I've heard so much about it from people that have ridden it. Some people say it's a mid-tier RMC, some people say it's one of the best RMCs. From looking at the layout of it, I've always thought this is one of the best looking layouts for an RMC. Of course, I've done the 3 big RMCs. I've done Steel Vengeance, Zadra and Iron Gwazi, and after those 3, this is probably the next kind of like biggest one. I've done another of the smaller ones as well. I've done Untamed at Wallaby Holland, and I've also done Twisted Colossus as well, so I've done a few of these RMCs. However, this has always looked like one of the better layouts from when I saw this. Ever since this was first announced, I was looking at it and I was thinking, that looks like an absolutely spectacular ride. I'd love to go and ride that. It opened in 2023, so it's only a couple of years old. Hopefully, I will get out there at some point in the future to go and ride Wildcats Revenge, because it looks absolutely amazing. The layout on there's got a few different inversions on there, a couple of very unique inversions, lots of airtime on there as well. I'd I'd love to go and ride this at some point. It looks absolutely incredible. Coming in at number 3, we have Air Force One at Fun Spot Atlanta in Georgia, an RMC coaster that opened in 2023. And what's interesting about this coaster is fully steel. No wood on there, no hybrid. Most of their coasters are hybrid coasters. This one's entirely steel. And when this roller coaster opened, it really put this park on the map. When this was first announced to come to Fun Spot Atlanta, of all the parks that would be getting a big RMC, this was the one that was getting it, and people were like, really, this park? Because a lot of people had never even heard of this park before. I'd heard of it, however, I didn't have any plans to go out there to experience it, unless I was visiting Six Flags over Georgia. Then I would have gone to experience it, but now there is a big reason why I want to go out to Georgia, and that is for Air Force One. This coaster looks amazing. It might not be the longest of RMCs, however, it has a lot of airtime, it looks like. A couple of really unique inversions on there as well. The Raven Trust Dive looks like a really fun element. As well as that, the ending of this ride as well. Literally, I think it's 6 back-to-back airtime hills where it's literally just ejector airtime, like airtime, 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 airtime. It looks absolutely wild. I've seen people's on-ride POVs from it, and literally, it's just constant airtime getting thrown out of your seat, like just people laughing, not really knowing what to think, like, oh my god, this is insane. I love airtime, and this coaster looks like it has plenty of it, so hopefully at some point I'll go to Fun Spot Atlanta and go and ride Air Force One. Coming in at number 2, we have Top Thrill 2 at Cedar Point, an Intamin / Zamperla multi-launch strata coaster. So this thing has got a very interesting history. Of course, I talked about this in my top 10 defunct coasters that I rode video. So Top Thrill Dragster originally opened in 2003 as the world's first full circuit strata coaster, which is a coaster between 400 and 500 feet. As well as that, it was the world's fastest roller coaster when it opened as well, launching from 0 to 120 miles per hour in about 3.5 seconds. And I did get to experience this, and it was an absolutely stunning attraction. I absolutely loved it. The launch on there was incredible. The spiral down drop was insane. It was an absolutely incredible ride. However, in 2021, the ride closed, and it was announced that Top Thrill Dragster in its current form would be retired. And then later on, in 2022-2023, it was announced that Zamperla was going to be doing a huge refurbishment of this ride, turning the hydraulic launch into an LSM launch that was going to be multi-pass. So you're going to launch forwards, part way up the top hat, launch backwards up a new 420-foot spike, then launch forwards, over the top hat, and down the spiral drop as you used to. So Top Thrill 2, it opened in 2024. It opened for a grand total of 8 days, and it's been closed ever since. It looks like an incredible ride. Not many people got to ride it, however, the people that did absolutely rave about it. People absolutely loved it. It looks absolutely incredible. Some people say it's even better than Top Thrill Dragster was. Of course, me being a big lover of Top Thrill Dragster, I'd love to go and ride this and see how it compares to the original. I was always a bit skeptical with this, worrying that it was going to lose the power of that hydraulic launch. However, launching backwards at over 100 miles per hour into that spike looks absolutely insane. I'd love to go and ride Top Thrill 2, and it is looking promising for it to be reopening for the start of this 2025 season. So hopefully 2025 will be the year that a lot of people, including myself, get to go and ride it. And here we go, coming in at number 1, my biggest bucket list coaster, and it is Fly at Phantasialand, a Vekoma new generation launched flying coaster that opened in 2020. And this thing looks absolutely spectacular. Again, just like with Taran, a very long, twisted layout with loads of interaction with the theming and loads of different elements on there as well. The theming of this thing looks absolutely insane. Lots of it you can't even see. A lot of it goes underneath the ground, where underneath all the pathways where you walk. A lot of it are behind like walls, like themed walls, and it interacts with the hotel as well. It's got 2 launches on there. So it was the world's first launched flying coaster, the world's first Vekoma new generation flying coaster, and it's also the world's longest flying coaster as well. It looks absolutely insane. Again, this is one I'm hopefully going to be riding in the next few days. I can't wait to get to Phantasialand and ride this coaster. It looks incredible. The theming of it, the elements, the length of it, it looks like an absolutely spectacular ride. I can't wait to experience it. Something very different to a B&M flying coaster. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this compares. My biggest bucket list coaster is Fly at Phantasialand, and I'm going to be riding it in the next few days, and I am so excited for it. So there we go, there are my top 10 biggest bucket list coasters. Let me know what you guys think to my list. What roller coasters would you have at the top of your bucket list? What roller coasters do you look at and think, I really want to go on that? That is one roller coaster that I have got to ride on. What coasters would you put here? Do you agree with some of my rankings? Probably you disagree as well. There are a lot of roller coasters out there, and of course coaster enthusiasts like different things. So let me know what you guys think. What roller coasters do you really want to ride? But that's now the end of this video here. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at George Kelly and follow me on Twitter at George Kelly. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe everyone, and I will see you all later. Bye.